What worked for me and what resonated with me and what, I wanted to do 5 years ago worked, right? And I'm allowed to change my mind and do it differently for the next 5 years, right? And so, you don't have to, paint yourself in a box, so to speak. Times will change, nothing is permanent, things don't last forever, right? And so we are capable and able of being self-aware and making a shift. It might be one of the hardest things in business is getting up every day, knowing that, today you might have a prospective client say no to you. You might have an employee that puts in their 2-week notice, right? You might have any of the other litany of bad things going on. And yet it's important every single day for you to get up, show up, be there, and do what's necessary to move the needle, a little bit more forward, right? Move it 1%, right? Because in business, if you're not moving forward, you're moving backwards. But it can be super challenging. There are things that are not within your control that you have to face and deal with probably every day. And yet you have to show up. And in this video, we'll talk about, kind of that challenge and what that means for us as leaders and business owners. I'm Stephen Taylor. This is Weekly ST. For the last 10 years, I've been building a couple $1 million cybersecurity IT support company, Googling shit along the way. I'm fascinated with living a wholly successful life. These are my thoughts and feelings on all of this and more every single week. Please like, share, and subscribe. Everyone sees the Instagram highlight reel of entrepreneurship and being a business owner and how sexy that looks. And the reality is it's hard work every fucking day. Forever. It's a hard thing to turn off, right? It is on your mind 24/7, 365, right? And yes, you could take a vacation and yes, you could take a break, but you're always having to be on or available or whatever it might be. And I think some days it's hard to even just get up and know that today you could get punched in the face again, right? And you just dealt with something last week or last night or whatever it might be. And you almost have to build this temperament, right, of there's going to be problems, but it comes with the territory, right? I often remind myself that if it was easy, everyone would do it. And that's why everyone doesn't do it, right? Because it is difficult and there are challenges. And I think one of the biggest things in growing and changing yourself is, again, this temperament, right? Whether it's meditation or just some kind of stoic practice or calmness or whatever, you have to be able to, take the issue, in and navigate it without getting upset, without getting emotional, without getting frustrated, right? And just handle it, right? As the leader, everyone's looking to us to navigate the stormy weather, right? Calm, collected, and just having a plan, even if it changes every day. And we see that in, down economies or losing a client or COVID or whatever it might be. Our teams are looking at us to just see, okay, does he know the way and how is he going to lead us into this? And okay, we'll get through this, right? But a leader who falters and gets emotional and gets upset and gets pissed about everything is not going to, have a team behind him that really is there and trusts and everything else. They're going to be skittish. They're going to wonder and worry, right? And they're going to falter if you don't kind of have this stoic determination to get through the bad weather. It's challenging some days to wake up again and go, God, I just dealt with 3 fires yesterday. What is today going to bring? And, we're in IT, right? There's fires all the time, stuff that we cannot control. Technology is never perfect. Our economy and what's going on in the world this year is, no one could have predicted these things. It's all, up and down and back and forth. And it's difficult. And I think that's where we go to, and we've talked about it. You've got to get outside of the office. You've got to take care of yourself, right? It's everything in business is about you as the leader and the owner of that business. And I know from talking with my peers and everything else, you can clearly see the correlation of if you're not taking care of yourself, if you're not taking care of your mental health, your physical health, your diet, things in business will, steamroll you, right? And the opposite is true, right? If you're taking good care of yourself, your business will crush it. And that's not to say that the issues won't arise, right? The issues are still there, but we just navigate them in such a different light when we're strong, when we're doing well, when we're up to do good things. It's a positive cycle, right? Good is good is good, right? And it helps you to really navigate all the different challenges in life and in business. I reached a point, right, where I felt complacent, or it showed up as like boredom. Well, this is just an IT business. It's boring. It's the same old, and things like that. And I feel as leaders and as owners, right, we need to take risks, right? We've got to get out of our comfort zone. We've got to grow. We've got to do different things that are cause us to stretch and grow. And so for me, in this reinvention period, it's been about taking risks and doing different things to really grow myself through it, but also grow the business through that. And I see a lot of us as owners and MSP business owners who are the business is flat. We're kind of complacent. A lot of people will look at that as a lifestyle business, right? It does enough. It's good enough. It makes enough money. I'm happy, right? But I think, our purpose and what we're really built for is to do more, right? To create more impact, to grow a bigger business, not for the sake of revenue, but to have more impact on our teams and our communities and clients, right? To do that, we're going to go out and win more business and we're going to grow. And isn't that good, right? Good is good is good. Funny story, right? And I'm still learning all this as I go along, right? The funny story is that all of the advice that we ever read alludes to absolutely both sides. There's a guy who will tell you work 4 hours a week and you can make $1 million. And there's a guy that will tell you got to work 80 hours a day and always answer your phone so that you can be successful. And with all of this, advice, opinion, books, research, I think it's important to read it, learn about it, right? Go down the rabbit hole, so to speak, try it. And take what works for you, right? Be a sponge, but you don't have to live and die by everything that everybody says because it's all conflicting at the end of the day. Every book has an opposite side, right? There's a yin and a yang to every piece of advice or what worked for somebody or what didn't or those kinds of things, right? So it's this funny, balancing act of, oh gosh, what do I do? What do I do, right? I think it's important to try and see what works for you and then stick with it. And then, try something else and add something else to your routine, whatever it might be. And it really is, it's going to, resonate with the core of you. If you are a go-getter who wants to work hard and loves that, right, and wants to get in the gym and practice every day, then go do it, right? But if you're somebody who wants to live a little bit more casually and, not be uptight about it and just kind of, let things slide at times, then do that, right? I think anyone can be successful any way they are willing to make it happen. And so it resides on you, right? Or me and, how I see fit and how I want to do things. And the cool thing is what worked for me and what resonated with me and what, I wanted to do 5 years ago worked, right? And I'm allowed to change my mind and do it differently for the next 5 years, right? And so, you don't have to, paint yourself in a box, so to speak. Times will change. Nothing is permanent. Things don't last forever, right? And so we are capable and able of being self-aware and making a shift. I feel our culture has made a synonym between success and money, right? That everyone thinks that money equals success, and I don't believe that's true. I think success is completely 100% defined by each person, right? I feel like it's happiness, right? And I'll expound upon that in that it's not just you yourself being happy and having all the right things. And what we realize as we get older, and if you read, about, senior citizens or last wishes and regrets and all that stuff, interestingly enough, it's about everyone else, right? The impact or the happiness with others and community and other people, right? We start to get away as we get older, I think, from our selfish ways about me, and we look at, how can I make other people happy? How can I bring joy to my family? How can I spend time with them, right? Those are the things that bring that true happiness, and to me, that's more about what success is. What challenges in your business have you struggled with lately that is keeping you from jumping out of bed in the morning?